If you're just tracking AI by reading press releases, you're already falling behind. Seriously. While the whole industry is kind of fixated on this duopoly of ChatGPT and Claude, there's a completely different story playing out in the raw data, and most people are missing it. I've spent the last few weeks digging through release logs, analyzing real-world performance, and the conclusion is, well, it's pretty clear. xAI's Grok is making a move that could shake up this whole race. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll talk about why that mainstream story is just plain wrong. Then we'll look at Grok's incredible evolution. After that, we'll get to the hard evidence, a high-stakes trading test. Then we'll unpack the 2026 roadmap. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways that you really need to know. Look, keeping up with AI news feels like trying to drink from a fire hose, right? It's totally understandable to just assume that ChatGPT and Claude are the only names that matter. I mean, they get all the headlines, they're all anyone talks about, but that's not the full picture. Not even close. So on one hand, you've got this public perception, this idea of an AI duopoly. It feels like a two-horse race. But when you tune out the noise, ignore the hype, and just look at the performance data, a really interesting finding pops out. Grok isn't just playing catch-up anymore. In some really specific, high-value situations, it's actually winning. And this isn't some hot take based on marketing fluff. This comes from weeks of deconstructing every little update, every performance metric from xAI. What we're seeing here isn't just another incremental improvement, it's a real, fundamental shift in what this model can do, and it's signaling a major shakeup in the AI power rankings. So how in the world did we get here so fast? To really get the threat Grok poses, you have to look at its development path. And honestly, the speed xAI is moving at is it's unlike anything else we're seeing in the industry right now. Okay, check this out. In July of 2025, Grok 4.0 comes out, and it's a beast, trained with 100 times more compute than the last version. But then, just 4 months later, 4.1 arrives. And this is where they made a critical pivot from just raw power to making it reliable and user-friendly. And this wasn't just them saying it was better. They proved it. In blind tests, real users picked Grok 4.1 over the more powerful 4.0 nearly 2/3 of the time. That's not a small improvement. That's a decisive win. Now this right here, this slide shows the most important jump. We're talking about hallucinations. That's AI speak for when the model just makes stuff up. It's a massive problem. Well, Grok 4.1 cut that error rate by 65%, dropping it from over 12% down to just 4.2%. To put that in perspective, that's the difference between having to fact-check almost everything and being able to trust what it tells you. It's huge. All right, now this is the part that really made me sit up and take notice. We're moving past the lab benchmarks and into real-world performance, with real money on the line. This is where Grok 4.2 was quietly put through the ultimate test. So in late 2025, xAI quietly entered Grok 4.2 into something called the Alpha Arena. It's a stock trading competition for AIs. And the result? While its competitors were losing money hand over fist, Grok 4.2 delivered an average profit of over 12% in just 2 weeks. So how'd the competition fare? Well, GPT 5.1, one of the industry's top dogs, actually lost 9.5% in that same time frame. This just goes to show you this wasn't some easy task. The market is a brutal testing ground for AI. And the story gets even crazier when you look at Google's Gemini. It completely bombed, posting an absolutely staggering loss of almost 33%. This just puts into sharp relief how difficult this challenge was and how impressive Grok's performance really was. I mean, just look at that table. The gap in performance is it's undeniable. Grok was the only AI to come out on top in this incredibly high-stakes environment where everyone else failed, and failed badly. So how'd it do it? This wasn't a fluke. It was a very specific strategy. First, Grok was drinking in massive amounts of real-time data, including 68 million tweets a day. That gave it a huge information advantage. Second, it made aggressive moves using leverage. But, and this is key, it also had disciplined risk management with stop losses. That combination is what made all the difference. Yeah, and this quote from Next Big Future really nails it. The older version, Grok 4, was apparently terrible at this. The fact that 4.2 did so well proves there was a massive, fundamental leap in its capabilities. This wasn't just a minor patch. But here's the thing. This incredible performance is really just one piece of a much, much bigger picture. To understand where Grok is going, you have to look at the vision and the resources that are fueling this whole thing. Okay, so what's next? Well, roadmaps and inside chatter are pointing to integrated video and image generation, huge context windows, and enhanced agentic capabilities. Now, that word agentic is crucial. It means the AI can actually do things. It can execute code, use online tools, complete complex tasks for you, not just talk about them. You combine that with an even deeper hook into the real-time data from X, and you have an AI that's built for action. Now, let's talk about the sheer scale of the ambition here. Musk has gone on record saying he thinks Grok could surpass human intelligence by 2026. Now, look, most experts think that timeline is optimistic, to say the least, but it explains the breakneck speed. The goal here isn't just to build a better chatbot. The goal is artificial general intelligence. And this timeline just drives that point home. We're talking about major version updates happening monthly, not yearly. While other AI labs take ages between releases, xAI is on a relentless sprint. This kind of update speed is basically unheard of. Okay, so let's pull all of this together into a final judgment. What are the practical bottom line differences here, and what should you really be keeping an eye on as we head into 2026? Here's probably the clearest way to think about the jump between these versions. Grok 4.1 was a really good conversational AI, great for creative stuff. Grok 4.2, as that trading test proved, is a tool for making high-stakes, time-sensitive decisions based on live data. It's a leap from being a creative partner to being a powerful decision-making engine. So the takeaway is this. When you add up its incredible development speed, its deep integration with real-time data, and its proven ability to win in the real world, Grok is no longer just another competitor. It has a very real shot at becoming an industry leader. The AI landscape is shifting faster than ever, and it seems like xAI is betting it all on being the fastest and most integrated player out there. And you know what? The early data suggests they are a very serious threat. So that leaves one last question for you to think about. Based on what we've seen, who are you putting your